Today on Q&J, Q's will be Jade, or else.
Q and J.
Hey everyone, welcome to another Q&J. As always, my name is Jay, and today I will Q some J's, and that's the name of the game. I'm very sorry for not making a Q&J last week from Gen Con. I intended to, but if any of you who watch my vlogs would know, the internet was so stupidly slow, it wouldn't even open the comment section of a video. And I tried uploading a video Thursday night. Sunday morning, it was still uploading. That slow. So really slow, and I just didn't want to try. It was just, no. So I decided that I'm going to come back here, and this week I'm going to do a Q&J. As always, this video is filmed on a Thursday, so if you left a comment after Thursday morning, you are a little out of luck, but I can answer next week, I guess, if you ask the same question in this video, because I will be going on Friday to either, I'm going to try my best, if I can get, there's something up with the car, but my goal is to get down to Waterloo to get my new codex for the Grey Knights Codex review. But if I can't, I'm just going to be lazy and download it digitally and then do a digital review later that night. So yeah, either way it'll be good. So I just decided to film it today just to be safe. And also, those of you wondering, my series of how to play 40k will be back on next week. I needed to refilm it because not only was my hair gross in the videos, it was really long and shaggy. B, I used Grey Knights as my example in... I used my Grey Knights as an example in one of the videos. Actually, in parts of both videos that I filmed. So I need to refilm it because I already know, based on the Codex rumors, that the things I said in the thing already don't apply, and I didn't want to release a video a week before the rules are moot. So I figured one as well play the long term, and since Grey Knights aren't going to get a new Codex anytime soon, I can refilm it, maybe using Dark Angels instead, or Grey Knights, and that way the rules are going to be consistent for a long time. I feel it'd be better in the long run. You know what I'm saying? Makes sense. So we'll start with the comments. Of course, Orks is the biggest says, I think the new flyer looks like a loaf of bread. I agree with you. It doesn't look very good. The Space Wolves flyer? No, not the nicest shape. 2 buttons are enough, says, hey Jay, Gloomdreddy here. Hey Gloomdreddy. I remember Gloomdreddy. Thanks for answering my questions last week. No problem. About making battle reports. Exactly. And a new question. Read more. Whoa. Long question. Okay. So, I want to hold a big Warhammer 40k Zone of Mortalis like Space Hulk event in my club at the end of the year. Cool stuff. Right now I have the following plan. Every player brings a boarding party of up to 400 points, unbound. Max model count per player is 20 minutes. Okay? 20 minis. Oh, sorry. 20 minis. Each player also brings some part of the Space Hulk. That makes sense. Bot or self-made rooms, that old floor tiles from Space Crusade, Space Hulk Doom, etc. Cool. We want it to be the biggest Space Hulk we can possibly put together for all the adventure and hidden secrets. Sounds good. This is good so far. So every player has to bring at least one part of the Hulk to add to the Hulk, IO, to participate. Excellent. I would ask people to bring as many as possible, so that way in case somebody can't bring one, it compensates. The goal of the game was to collect artifacts scattered all over the Space Hulk. There will be random events triggered by people entering rooms, roaming gene stealers, and who knows what. And here comes my question. Do you have any cool spontaneous ideas for stuff that could happen on the Space Hulk? NPCs, random things, items that can be found, whatever. Artifacts is the first thing I can think of. Artifacts or fallen members. That'd be kind of cool. Like, I've been playing the game Space Hulk a lot lately, and in several missions you have to go revive other members, and that'd be really cool. So you can go revive a member, and then he becomes a member of that person. Whoever's controlling him gets to control that new model, and maybe the guy has some cool special rules. Maybe he's a psyker or something cool like that. Artifacts, maybe picks up a weapon. That'd be kind of cool. Other things, explosions. You know, the room will act, you know, on a double 6 or a double 1 or something like that. The room explodes, killing whoever is in it. One thing could be you accidentally disturb the hive. You know, on a certain roll, you disturb the hive, and the room is just filled with gene stealers all of a sudden because they rushed to the room. Yeah. What other things? Yeah, I recommend Fallen People. That's my thing. I think that would be kind of the coolest thing. Fallen People, relics, or maybe a weapon. You know, like a bioweapon that they need to wipe out the Tyrannid swarm, and it needs to be brought back to a certain point, so they need to get to this specific room. Yeah. I hope that helps. Hope you're fine. And tell Mandy I said hi. Oh, hi. Smiley face. Greetings from Germany. Thank you very much. From the Germanys. I already have a list of my own, but I would love to hear if your creative mind could come up with something and add to the event. Oh, no problem. So I hope that helps. If you want more, I'll definitely leave more questions in the Q&A, and I'll definitely think of more in the meantime. But I think that'd be really cool. I think you can come up with your own storyline of relics. You know, I think it'd be really cool for the event would be to come up with a backstory of maybe the group that was in the Space Hulk ahead of time that's fallen, and then you can have all the cool artifacts. Maybe they were traveling with a giant amount of artifacts, and each one has a cool special power, and maybe even the artifacts, if you obtain an artifact, it gives you like a one-time use thing. That'd be really cool. Yes. So thank you very much for your comment. 2 buttons already /Gloomsready from the Germanys, and I really hope you have an awesome time working on this Space Hulk idea. It sounds awesome. I love it. I love it when people do these kind of things. That's what I love about 40K. Fatah says, the warp doesn't work in some countries because YouTube paid channels cannot be paid in some countries. That's true. Unfortunately, that is true. And what I'm doing is I'm waiting until they become available. And when they become available, I'm going to start them at the lowest price that I've ever made available to the normal countries. That didn't sound right. Normal countries. The countries that it was available when I started. Simple as that. So, for example, Germany, when Germany finally becomes available, because I'm waiting for Germany to become available, it will start at the equivalent of $3 Canadian. Because I don't want to penalize the countries that aren't available yet. And I really hope, according to YouTube, I've been talking to a couple of YouTube representatives, and they feel that they're slowly taking over the world for paid channels. So that's good. Mikoldova says, I use super clean degreasers to strip my minis. That's cool. It comes in a purple gallon jug and is usually in the automotive section. 20 to 20 minutes soak and paint comes right off with a medium bristle toothbrush and some water, and figures look nice and shiny, new and undamaged. I've done this with pewter dudes a few times and could not discern the strip minis from ones right out of the blister. With a big strip job, I will fill the bucket with a super clean and throw a whole army in it. Awesome. If models were glued before painted, the glue will dissolve. Yeah, exactly. And David Taylor says, Mikkel, does this work on plastic models or just metal? Many things will strip a metal mini, will not work very well, or soften or dissolve, melt the plastic. And Mikkel says, I've used it on plastic resin and pewter with great results. So cool stuff. So everyone check out Super Clean. It's another product. I use Simple Green, but Super Clean rhymes with Simple Green, so they must both work. Good logic. The Lads Lounge says, hey Jay, thanks for hearing. No problem. Like I've said before, I live in Welsh Valleys. Would love to play a game or two with you if you ever get enough money to trip to Canada. Awesome, I'd love to play. I've been trying. I've been trying to open up my schedule. That's my goal in the short term, to open up my schedule so I can play a lot more games against people. Like I had an awesome time playing in Skari a couple weeks ago. So, and that was a cool story. I just ran into him at a gas station. But yeah, I love it. It's quite close looks-wise to Wales, and in climate, maybe a little colder. Yeah, we're colder than most things. So we're surprised by the sudden, hey, here's the Space Wolf Codex. I know, especially, hey, here's the new Grey Knights Codex. You know, 2 weeks ago was Space Wolves, last week was a Space Wolf supplement, this week is Grey Knights. Now, there's not going to be a Grey Knight supplement, it doesn't look like, but still. And then we got the data slates for the Assassins. So it's going to be crazy. As for painting unassembled, I do it quite a bit. I just leave the joints clear and then use plastic glue. It works fine for me. Yeah, that's the other idea, as I mentioned in the other video. Yeah, you just need to leave the gaps free from primer. And it just takes a little extra work, but it does work well. So thank you very much for your comment, Lads Lounge. And I know I'm completely surprised too, because I've done 2 Codex reviews in the same month. And I was going to do one last week, but I couldn't get a hold of the supplement. So maybe I'll download it or something. Big Poppy 7718 says, "Hey Jay, first off, I really enjoy your Painting 101 series. Very informative. Thank you. Second, will you ever consider doing battle reports with kill team rules, skirmish rules, or are they not compatible with the current edition?" Actually, yes, I will do kill team. Kill team or combat patrol. I'll have to double check. I really like combat patrol, which I think is what you call skirmish. And I would do them. And they're just not as popular. But I am thinking about doing them in the short term. If I'm trying to come up with I've been having problems lately doing 2 battle reports a week. So I'm thinking 1 battle report a week, alternating between warp and free, and then doing another type, like a combat patrol or a kill team. Or I've come up with another show, which will be appearing very shortly, called Face Off. And I think it's going to be fun. I like Face Off. I think you guys will like it too. And also then there's the idea of me doing the J versus J battle reports, and that's a whole other story. And I'm actually working on a few ideas. I've come up with 4 or 5 that I can think of, maybe 6, different ideas for J versus J battle reports. Many of them have been suggested by you guys. And what I'm going to do is over the next couple months, I'm going to try them out and ask you guys, which ones do you like, why do you like them, and then maybe I can come up with eventually a really good J versus J battle report style that I can film whenever I have time. You know, I can do a J versus J battle report in a few hours when I have some free time, put it up, and then that way you guys get more content, and that's what it's about. You get more content that you love. I love making content. Everyone wins. I mainly play in 2nd edition and 3rd edition. Love Necromunda. Cool. Yeah, so there answers your question. Kurt Miller says, "You managed to miss my question this week." What? How did I miss it? Oh, I'm sorry, Kurt Miller, but I am addressing this right now. I am missing questions, and the thing is, I literally start at the bottom, go one at a time. I don't know how I miss questions. It's not on purpose, I swear. Jay, with regards to your commission service, why not keep doing commissions of small amounts, 1 model or a squad, and do a painting tutorial on the models you're painting at the same time? You will make money from the commissions and get free models to do painting commissions on. Also, there's nothing wrong with having a negative opinion on something and sharing it with people. We can't like everything we see. I agree. Very good point. And actually, I will be doing that in the short term. Probably in the next couple months, I'm going to start taking, as you said, 1 or 2 model commissions. I'm going to close down the website for Jaded Painting because it was just costing me way too much to maintain and I wasn't using it too much. But I will be. I will accept small commissions in which, you know, and I'll make a video about that. You know, I'm just going to do 1 or 2 models at a time. The only problem is, though, when I have the feeling whenever I mention I'm doing commissions, people are going to flood me. So it's going to be, that'll be cool. We'll see. Kevin Shelley says, what I do when painting before gluing is I make sure to scrape off any paint on the surface that is going to be glued. Exactly, as someone else mentioned. Ensures the good bond and lets you paint the areas that are hard to reach. It takes a little more time, but it can be worth it. Exactly. That way you get the best of both worlds. You get to reach all the areas of the model and still get a solid bond. I know, but you can always tell those people that paint beforehand and then they put it together with super glue and then they drop the model once and it goes... Yeah, it's funny. John Doe / John D / John Day says, John D says, "Hey Jay, thanks for answering my question." No problem. Apparently I missed Kurt Miller, so that's not good. But yeah. I would like to hear your view on the new Space Wolves Codex and an army that you would choose. Anything unto 1,000 points would be good. So, my review of the Codex, and if you want my in-depth review, just go check out my review of the new Space Wolves Codex, but I think it's pretty good. You know what? As far as a Space Marine Codex goes, it's pretty good. They did lose a lot of the special rules. Again, like Orks. It seems like they're taking a lot away the special rules. The new Chariot for Logan Grimnar is amazing, but looks silly. For 1,000 points, I really love... I would take the cheap HQs. Well, I'd take one good HQ. Like, I'd take Nijal for an HQ or something like that. For the other HQs, I would take like Herald Deathwolf if you want to run cavalry. I love the idea of cavalry, and then fill your list with cavalry and 2 squads of Grey Hunters or Bloodclaws even. Bloodclaws are really cheap. You know, for 60 points, you can take 2 squads of 10 guys for 240 points. That leaves you 760 points to do all you want, and then you have a lot of fun. Like you could take, just take maybe Herald Deathwolf, and you may want some anti-psyker. So I'd take maybe 2 Rune Priests, and then fill the rest of the list with Thunderwolf Cavalry. You'd have a lot of fun. 1,000 points, that would be nasty and fun. You don't even need to worry about Long Fangs, but Long Fangs would be good too. If you want a nice support choice, not Long Fangs. But for 1,000 points, let's see, let's create a list quickly. Top of my head. So I'd say I'd start off with 2 squads of Bloodclaws. Or even, if you want, take Grey Hunters. 2 squads of 10 Grey Hunters would run you about 280 points. Not bad at all. There goes Rubik. So 280 points, you have 720 points left. For HQs, I would take Herald Deathwolf, which leaves you 530 points left. And a couple Rune Priests. So 2 Rune Priests. So that's 410 points left. And then 2 squads of Thunderwolf, 410 points. And then I'd take Thunderwolf Cavalry, because they are hilarious, and load them up for the rest of the 420 points. And for 1,000 point list, that is pretty crazy, because you got guys to stand back and keep on objectives, you got a legal list, and you have a lot of killing power. Thunderwolf Cavalry are awesome. I love them. I think they're still the stars of the show, and Herald is an amazing HQ for them. Jim White says, yay, another Ask Mandy coming soon. That's true. I'm going to, again, I filmed it. I just got to put it up. I've been filming so many videos. I think I've put up more than 30 videos in the last 30 days. So I just sometimes forget about certain videos that I film. The Ask Mandy should be up this week or next week. We'll see. I just keep forgetting. But it's filmed. Like, I filmed a couple at the same time, and I just forget to put them up because I'm crazy. Thanks, Jay, for placing a comma after list building, since otherwise we would have list building spam. No problem. Sergeant Harker says, yeah, the Captain Crunch color scheme. I now want to start an orc army of freebooters, and I'll call him Warboss Captain Crunch. Awesome! With a K. Captain Crunch, both with Ks, and it'll be amazing. Awesome. Cantus Tropus says, Jay, do you have a distinct early or first experience that cemented your love of the hobby that hooked you into it? For me, it was a battle report in White Dwarf 306. My first ever White Dwarf. It was Imperial Guard vs. Tyranids on the first outing of the 4th edition Tyranid Codex. Nidzilla days. I miss those days so much. Of great fame and celebrity, and it was incredibly cinematic. Game with hordes of Gaunts running across the table. Across an ash wasteland, while guardsmen and Leman Russ tanks blast holes into them, while an Inquisitor and a Chimera tries to run to the other side of the board before getting gribbled, and a brood of Gene Stealers sneaks up to eat the gun line from behind. It ended with a Death Watch kill team holding out like action movie heroes, and cemented both my fear of the Tyranids race and my admiration of the Death Watch. And it all was a rip-roaring introduction to the hobby. Do you have anything similar that got you into the hobby? Yes, I do. My friends actually got me into the hobby back in 2nd edition. And I actually, I went to the Games Workshop, the local Games Workshop in Mississauga in Square One. And they were having a giant game that I got to participate in. And it was what they called Xenos versus, at the time it was like bad guys versus good guys, but it was Tyranids and Orks versus Space Marines. A variety of forms of Space Marines, most of them Ultramarines. And I got to play Orks, and it was a lot of fun, and it got my love for Orks. We had such a good time. In the end, Orks and Tyranids lost. We kind of got blown off the board. Orks weren't very competitive back in those days, but they were a lot of fun. And the randomness, that's what I love so much, because at the time, I got to control a bunch of Storm Boys, and back when then, like Storm Boys in 2nd edition, never did anything right. You roll a dice, and then you'd roll a scatter dice, and that's where they'd end up. And whenever they moved, sometimes they fly away, and sometimes they die, and it was so much fun. I had such an awesome time. And yes, that cemented it. It wasn't reading something at the time, but it was definitely seeing the game in action, and to me, the randomness and fun of the Orks got me into the hobby, for sure. But thank you very much for your question. And Lewis James 451 says, hi Jay, I've noticed that you have become more popular here in the UK. Awesome, thank you so much. You were actually the topic of conversation at Warhammer World. I think I've answered this question before. Maybe not. I don't know. That's all good. I'll keep looking at the comments. Well, I've seen this comment before. Maybe not. Maybe it's just deja vu. Deja vu. Deja vu. Deja vu. Deja vu. You were actually the topic of conversation at Warhammer World. That's awesome! I went to Gen Con, and I love going to conventions and meeting people and having a great time, and it really just makes me have that awesome feeling inside when people love what I'm doing and they tell me to my face. It feels great. It really does, because I don't do this for the money, obviously, but I love making videos, and I love the fact that my videos are starting to get recognition and people are liking them. And that's good. That's good, because that's my goal. Make videos people like. My question to you is, have you wanted to come and visit Warhammer World in Nottingham? Yes, for sure. I would love to go to England, because England is the hub, or London. I guess a lot of the stuff is in London, or in the London area, like Nottingham. And, but Britain, Great Britain, I would love to. You know, home of the British pound. For sure, I've always wanted to, because it's the hub of Warhammer 40K. You know, it is the central core of it, and I would love to check that out and see all the cool stuff. Plus, I would buy more stuff than I could imagine, because your prices are so much better than ours. So much better. For sure. One day. One day. Hi, Jay. Oh, this is Attaboy94 says, hi, Jay. Greetings from Finland. Greetings from Canada. First, your videos are awesome and very enjoyable. Just listen, same time when painting. Excellent. If you have any experience of Dark Eldar, could you give some tips and tactics how to play them in 7th edition? To be honest, I really don't, but here's who I recommend. Check out Scarredcast. S-K-A-R-E-D-C-A-S-T. Scarredcast. And I played against him 2 weeks ago, Scary, in an awesome battle report, and it aired actually after you asked this question, and he specializes in Dark Eldar, and he plays them really well, and his videos are quite good. I recommend going and check them out. He not only he films the post turns, but at the very end of each battle report, he does this, I forget what's called, a Tactica Corner, where he actually goes through the battle report and discusses why he did each thing with each unit, and it's a great way to learn for Dark Eldar. I don't play Dark Eldar. I actually really like Dark Eldar, and I'd love to play them in the future. I love the models, but I have no inspiration to paint them, because I think they are pretty poor in this edition because Jink nerf. That is true. Jink nerf did hurt the Dark Eldar, but it just changes your Tactica. Plus, you can feel that much Dark Lances. Oh my goodness, Dark Lances. Oh, and it would be awesome to see Warhammer Horde bat reps, including Crix, Olet, Matava, Ja videos. Rakabat. Try to say this. Alright, I'm going to try. Olet Matava, Ja videos, Rakabat. It means you're awesome and your videos rock. Thank you. In Finnish. Yeah, so I'd recommend going to check out Scarredcast, because I feel if any Tactica I give would be only from, I played them twice in 7th edition. I think go check out this guy like Scarredcast. He would be, I say cost, because he's very proper accent. Christopher Texas, Jay! What in your opinion is the likelihood that Drago and Dante will become Lords of War? 100%. 100%. I'm pretty certain Drago will be a Lord of War, and I will find out in my review tonight. But if Drago is not a Lord of War, I am going to be shocked. And Dante, it's either Dante or Mephiston. Dante or Mephiston. I would say Dante based on the lore, but Mephiston based on his strengths. So I don't know. It's going to be Dante or Mephiston for Blood Angels. I think, here's what my prediction is. From now on, every codex that comes out, number 1, they'll have artifacts. Number 2, they're going to have their own formation style that you know, different numbers of HQs, different numbers of elites, different numbers of heavies. 3, the best heavy hitter in the army for close, you know, for HQs will be a Lord of War. You know, so far we've seen Gaskell Thraka, we've seen Logan Grimnar, we've seen, and now I'm guessing Drago. Drago and either, as I said, Dante or Mephiston. One or the other. It's kind of going to be predictable. And then for Dark Eldar, I guess they're going to get someone too. But it's cool. You know, that's what's going to happen. And then they're also going to remove Any model that doesn't, any character that doesn't have a model, that's going to be gone. You know, they removed every character that doesn't have a model for the Grey Knights. The rumors are that they removed the other guys that don't have models too because of copyright issues. And then they're going to kind of remove a lot of the special rules that make each army unique and make the game a little more streamlined. I'm pretty sure that's their goal in 7th edition, is to streamline the rules, that way making everything a little bit better and more understandable. Yes. By the way, your Painting 101 series is shading really helped. Excellent with shading, really helped. And my friends, Grey Knights, and he said thank you. Thank you very much. That's great, appreciate it. This is the cool thing about Miniature Painting 101. For the warp, I know people have been bashing the warp in the page channel, but it has made me paint so many Miniature Painting 101 series right now. Because for free, I think we're in the low 20s. In the warp, we're actually in the mid 40s. Which means, as of this week, I've actually painted the rest of the year's Miniature Painting 101 videos. They're all edited, and they will be uploaded shortly, but they're going to be up once a week for the rest of the year. I can guarantee one Miniature Painting 101 every Monday for the rest of the year. How awesome is that? And I'm going to keep going. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm thinking I might change something up when I hit number 101. I don't know. Just as a cool hurrah. That's it. Sergeant Harker, once again, says, hey Jay, I'd love to leave a tip here for people who want to get into the Fantasy Flight's pen and paper 40k RPGs. Sure. Feel free to leave your comment. I've had it to deal with this a few times already, but it's important for new players and DMs. Make sure you know the universe. I know it's a simple thing, but some people don't. I had a player who wanted to play a Harlequin in Dark Heresy. Harlequin and Dark Heresy. Those are Eldar units. They are the only ones identified as Harlequins, but he didn't know that because he wasn't familiar with the universe, I had another player who thought a cleric was a healer who cast magic, like in D&D, due to being unfamiliar with the universe. That's true. I had to force him to take literacy as a skill because nobody could read and they needed someone who could. That's fair. You need someone who could read. I've seen psychers think that they are a mage who is free to do what he felt like. No, that's not true. No, you are a psyker. You control one of the most destructive forces. You are watched and shot occasionally. I've seen, no joke, one player ask someone in a town, excuse me, we're with the Inquisition, do you know where the corn worshippers are? Every time this has happened, we have had to sit down and talk about why that doesn't work. Just make sure everyone knows at least what their class does. Have them read the entry well, even read about it on Lexicanum. It'll save everyone a headache. Very good point, Sergeant Harker, and I'm glad you left that comment. Thank you so much for leaving it, and I hope people get some from it. David Taylor says, Stantos A, in regards to a 1500 point Space Wolf army, I try 3 full squads of Grey Hunters in Rhinos as my core. Thunderwolf Cavalry will provide a lot of punch in close combat. Long Fangs on a Predator Whirlwind combo would provide some long range firepower. If scouts still get behind enemy lines, no, they didn't. So they will be a great flush out unit, so yeah, I would ignore them. But other than that, thank you very much for your comment, David Battaglia. For those who don't know, David Battaglia is Cody Rue. My Morkanut is named after Cody Rue, and David Battaglia specializes in Orks and Space Wolves, so he must have been stupidly happy when it came to Stormclaw. Reno Veldon says, hey Jay, have you read the Orc Dread Bomb army list from Forge World? Dread Mob. No, I should check it out. Oh, sorry, yes I have. I have read it. Cody Rue actually sent it to me. It is for free, download, and lets you take squads up to 3 Death Dreads as troops, and with unlimited attachments, you can do a lot of fun with it. Yes, I have checked it out. I know which one you're talking about. Sorry, I just had a mind fart. It is very cool, and I should definitely probably incorporate some of these things into my games. Cosmic Soybean says, hey Jay, I am having a few big problems here. First off, I play with only 2 people due to being far from any city, and one of my opponents doesn't like having the same faction as someone else. For example, if he had Imperial Guard, he wouldn't want me to also start Imperial Guard army. I know the feeling. How can I still play the armies I want without making him upset? With some of these players, it really isn't possible. So you play, well, the thing is, you could play Imperial Guard and put your own spin on it and try to convince him that there's a big enough difference between your armies. You know, you could play, Scion or something. You could play the Codex supplement for Imperial Guard. And that might be a big enough differentiation and a big different feel that you could convince him that it's a different army. Otherwise, you just don't care what he thinks. Or the third option is you just don't play his armies and you keep him happy. So either A, don't play his armies, keep him happy. B, talk to him. You know, maybe he'll change his mind. C, play a Tempestus army that is different enough that you can convince him that it's just a different army. And it will have different special rules, so I'd understand that. Or don't care what he thinks. Yeah. My second problem is that I bought Dark Eldar, and I'm loving it, but there seems to be no place to get bits for them that are reasonable. eBay is the only thing I can think of. I checked eBay. Oh, never mind. And the prices are alright, but they want $8 for shipping to Canada for an arm. Yeah, unfortunately bits are becoming increasingly uncommon because GW has been cracking down on bit shops. So eBay is one of the few remaining things other than going to your... You can go to your local store. Of course, you don't live anywhere close to the local store, so this comment might be moot. But you go to the local store and just talk to people and see if they have any bits. Some stores throw away their extra bits. If they have display armies, for example, they'll throw away their extra bits. You can talk to them, or maybe talk to the other players and see if you can do some bit swapping. That's about it. You know, unfortunately, eBay to me is one of the lone remaining places. Most places that specifically sell bits have been closed down or threatened by Games Workshop in many areas. So, fortunately, but thank you very much for your question, Cosmic Soybean. I hope it answers it. Quiet One says, hi Jay. How do you think Orks are going to do against the new Space Wolves Codex? And what type of Ork army do you think will be used? Ta. I think my Dread Mob actually wouldn't do too bad because unless you're facing a lot of long fangs with las cannons. But long fangs with rockets are nerfed because rockets in general got nerfed in this edition. It's harder to kill vehicles. And rockets are AP3. So they will not single shot kill your vehicles. Dread mobs will actually be pretty withstanding, as will battle wagons. Battle wagons will still survive from shooting against long fangs. So Space Wolves will have a problem with the high armored and the vehicles of Orks. Besides that, in close combat, Thunder Wolves will eat Orks for breakfast because Orks do not have an invul save in close combat anymore. And the best they can do is like a 6-up, feel no pain, or if they have a pain boy, a 5-up, feel no pain. You know, so that will be a problem. You know, I think the new Codex will favor Thunderwolf Cavalry as it did in the previous one, but Thunderwolf Cavalry will be amazing. It'll probably be the best option in the new edition. So Orcs are gonna have a big problem against that. Knobs. Your best chances are a lot of knobs with power claws that will hopefully withstand the first wave and then just hit them back and destroy them. But as far as survivability, Orks are very vulnerable in this edition. We can hit hard in some circumstances, but the problem is surviving in close combat is a real challenge. What else would be good? Not-bikers will still be really hard hitting. And as I said, and plus, if you stick a Big Mac with a custom force field in the squad, they have a 5-up invulnerable save, which is amazing, and especially if you take the Godskull Thraka supplement, you can get that one that has a 4+. Let me just change for a second. Focus. There we go. Sorry, my focus was slightly off. You can actually take a 4+ invulnerable save, stick that thing in a squad of not-bikers. So I think that would be kind of good. Yeah. And the Morkanaut. Morkanaut will still do a great job against... the Morkanaut will still be great against Grey Knights, or not Grey Knights, Space Wolves, because it's hard hitting, has a much better than, you know, it's not Initiative 1, and it has some great firepower, so it'll be a great option too. So that's what I say. Not-bikers can still hit very hard. Yeah, I just stick the that custom force field in it, give them a 4+ invul, and then they don't need to jink, they get in close combat and destroy whatever they want. Undead Pank says, Jay, what would you recommend I get next from a growing Ork army? I have 11 Shooter boys, 10 Slugga boys. You need more boys. That's the first thing. 6 Ludas, 5 Burnas, 3 non-bikers, Big Mech with Shark Attack Gun, War Boss, and a Stampa. And a Stampa. What shall I add to my force? Oh, and the next time you use a War Boss, try giving him the dead shiny Shooter. It's a very fun upgrade while still being very cheap. Alright, I'll definitely try to include that. So first of all, well, you need to pick kind of your theme. You could stay general, but with most orc armies, there's kind of a theme to it. What do you really like about orcs? Because there's a lot of different themes you can go. You can go non-bikers, in which you bring more bikes. You could go Green Tide, which is probably one of the more viable options in 6th edition or 7th edition with the Codex, which you just need a lot more boys. You know, tons and tons more boys. Another 100 boys would probably be great. So I'd say boys. You know, I think regardless of your lists, boys will still be good, or knobs. Boys or knobs would still be a great option. You already have a war boss, so he's a great leader. War bosses still are the best HQ you can bring. A pain boy might be a great option if you want to give your boys feel no pain. But before you do that, I think boys. I'd recommend boys as the foundation of an orc army, or you go and because they're the only troop choice now, or knobs because knobs are a great elite choice. Other thing you could possibly buy is a truck. See, I don't want to list off everything. That's what I just feel. So boys, maybe some trucks if you want to put them in trucks. Otherwise, just giant mobs of boys. Name 197 says, Jay, what are your thoughts on the Militarum Tempestus Army Codex? It's not bad. That's what I was saying earlier. You could play it, the Tempestus group. It's not bad. You know, I think the Astra Militarum and the Tempestus Codexes will be a viable option and a decent codex in 7th edition because they're heavy firepower, and heavy firepower is kind of still the name of the game. Scotty Knight says, hey Jay, do you know if they are going to come out with a new Black Templar Codex? Thanks. No, I don't think so. The reason being is Black Templars have been enveloped into the Space Marine Codex. So they're in the Space Marine Codex now. They're not going to probably get their own codex. I would have liked it if they did, but I do understand why they put them in the Space Marine Codex. And it's the only time that Games Workshop has enveloped the stuff, as opposed to splitting everything off to these kind of money grabbing things. So I don't think they're going to get a new codex anytime soon. Scotty Knight, that was Scotty Knight's. Sorry, Rickerwada. Let's see. Hold on. All right, good. Rickerwada says, RE, assembling or painting first. I generally paint them, then assemble. I have no problems with the glue bonding as I mask any joints with putty, blue tack, or simply take it off, leaving the clear surface. Hope thanks. Great, thank you very much for adding to the conversation. Mr. Brightside says, hey Jay, 2 questions. Have you ever used expandable foam to make some quick, easy, and handsome hills ruins? I haven't yet, but I'm going to try to learn it. I'm going to do a terrain series probably next year, and my goal is to learn all the terrain stuff in the near future, to do a terrain series in the near future. I have not used it yet, but it looks pretty cool. I've had some great results with it recently. Second, as far as 40k army balance goes, I have loved to have seen Orks and Tyranids getting a 2+ to their movement. Exactly. They need something. Of course, they do get the, according to the WA, you kind of get the old equivalent to, the mind has failed me. Whatever it's called. Yeah. My mind, I have a mind fart now. Whatever it's called. You know what I'm talking about. I know, they need something to get them faster. Tyranids and Orks, they need to be fast. And even when the WA, you get to run and assault, which is great. Yeah, Orks, Tyranids really needed that. To get something across the board faster so that they can get to their opponent. That's the biggest problem with Tyranids, is that they tend to be really slow now. There's no real way of getting them across the board really quickly, and you get lit up in the meantime. Don't you think that would have evened things out against shooting armies? Completely. Completely agree with you, Mr. Brightside. Master Dwellin says, hi Jay, thanks for answering my question about the mech mob box. I'm really looking forward to having an army of greenskins, so I'm looking forward to you having them too. What do you think about the rules for Grot's tanks? I love them. Grot's tanks aren't the most useful, but I love Grot tanks. They are my favorite thing ever. When I went to Gen Con, I went immediately to the Gen Con booth, to the Forge World booth. I said, do you have any Grot tanks? They said, we just sold out our last Grot tanks, and I would have bought all of them if I had the chance. I love Grot tanks. They would be fun. Exactly. They're not the most useful, but they're so fun. I would love an entire horde army of just Grot tanks crossing the field. There are, their armor 10 rounds, so they're easy to kill, but still be fun. The original Forge World models are a bit expensive for me. Yeah, £62 for 4 tanks, but there are there's a company called Ramshackle Games who makes nice and little post-apocalyptic tanks for a good price. Oh, maybe I'll check those out. Ramshackle Games. Thank you once again. Happy Gen Con. Thank you. Johnny Torrance says, Jay, 2 questions. What are good companions for someone fielding the Wa Council? Now, for those of you who don't know what the Wa Council is, it is a specific formation from the Gospel Thraka supplement. And accompaniment, I would definitely say a battle wagon. I'll say what the Council Wa. So basically, it's a specific Wa banner. You have to have a Wa banner. Gospel Thraka, Mad Dog Grotznik, 2 war bosses, Big Mac, Unit of Knobs. First of all, decide how you want to get them across the board. Battle wagon, simple choice. Battle wagon plus a I would take a bunch of Big Mechs with custom force fields around them, and a battle wagon if possible, because you want to get them across the board. This is a scary, heavy hitting unit. You want them to survive and get across the board, and none of them have invols. So, other than Guskell Thraka, no, Guskell Thraka doesn't have an invol anymore. So yeah, they have Feel No Pain, which will be good. But you want to get them across the board. So I say a battle wagon, which can hold all of them quite easily. Oh, and if possible, some Big Mechs with custom force fields to help protect the battle wagon and get it across the board. 5-up invols are really handy, I find. In 7th edition, yes. What are your thoughts on using a fast attack wolf drop pod and sticking Terminators, Legion of the Damned, and Grav Cannon Centurions? Why not? Great choice. Especially if they drop in turn 1, you basically choose the scariest unit your opponent has, drop in beside them, and light up them and kill them all. The Grav Cannon Centurions, great choice. Space Wolf Drop Pod, Terminators, awesome choice. Dropping a Dreadnought right in their face, great choice for the new Space Wolf Codex. Legion of the Damned, great choice. It's a great choice. People forget about it. You know, when 6th edition came out, people were like, Flyers, 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 Flyers. And I went to a big tournament, and everyone was built against Flyers, but no one defended themselves against drop pod spam. So the winner of the entire tournament was, of course, a drop pod Melta-list. Great choice. Daniel Jones says, hey Jay, I'm getting some Sanctus Reach Space Wolves for my birthday. Excellent this month, and was planning on painting them white as a custom chapter. I was just wondering if you had any advice for hand painting white, as I don't know a lot about people have issues. I will be doing a Miniature Painting 101 coming out next week or the week after on painting white as a base color, but basically sum it up, thin down your white. You gotta thin down your paint, especially if you're using Games Workshop paints, because it comes out very chalky. And once you start painting white, do not repaint that surface until it's completely dry. White shows brush strokes like no one's business. Second, shade it with non-oil. I love using a non-oil shading, but water it down very much. So like 2 parts water to 1 part non-oil. It'll get in the recesses and darken them, but it won't overwhelm the white to make it a dark gray. Because then basically what I like to do is I like to do a thin coat of white as a base coat, non-oil shade, and then rebuild the white up. You know, you could use grays as an intermediate, so you base a very light gray, like a 1-to-1 mix of Astra Militarum, with the gray. My mind is just gone today. Administratum gray and white scar, then shade it and then build up your whites using thin down paints, 2 to 3 coats. If you want a blue tint, if you want like a slightly blue tint to your Space Wolves in case you want to keep that Space Wolves theme, I'd recommend a color called Ghost White from Reaper. I use it frequently for my Tyranids, and it has a slight blue tint to it. So use that as the color just before the final white, and it will give them a slight blue tint, and that would be pretty cool too. Thanks in advance. No problem, and I hope you enjoyed the Miniature Painting 101. It'll be coming out in the next couple weeks, and it is on white. First is white as a primary color, and then painting white over a dark surface. Both of them will be, they're back-to-back videos for Miniature Painting 101. Martin Bernier says, what do you think about the survivability of the Killican in close combat since a penetrating hit caused 2 hull points to be removed? I don't think that's the case. It's just 1. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then Mick Aldova says, a normal penetrating hit does not cause 2 hull points. It would only die from an explodes result on a damage table. Or second penetrating lands plus cans are super cheap compared to other walkers. When in doubt, just bring more. Exactly. I love cans. 7th edition Orks, I'm going to try fielding 12 cans and a Morkanaut. in a normal list. That would be fun. Cans are good. The only problem with cans is they've lost their super strength in close combat. They used to be strength 10. Now they're only strength 7. So they're not as they're kind of the jack of all trades. They're good against medium armor, but they're not good against land raiders. They'll never pop a land raider. So we'll see. I like to use those nasty walkers versus nasty single model characters. Exactly. I've had nothing but fun using cans. Whoop. And then finally, Mikeldova says, I use super clean degreaser. Oh, it's that comment again. Okay, no problem. And then they talked about the super clean degreaser. So there we go. So that's it. Those are all the comments. Oh, did I actually rearrange them? Oh no, I might have accidentally... I'm going to go through the comments now because I think I accidentally refreshed the page. And it might have... Yeah, let's see. That one's answered. That one's answered. That one's answered. 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 I just don't want to miss questions because I miss a question every frickin' time. Cosmic Soybean. Yep. Good, 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 good. I think I answered all the questions. I think so. And if I missed your question, I'm sorry. I think I got them all. I met Kurt Miller. I answered your question positively. The Warpsmith. Oh, here's one. See, I didn't see the Warpsmith's comment. Now I'm going to answer the Warpsmith's comment. The Warpsmith. I find your IW Siege list. IW. Befitting. Oh, good, yes, I mentioned that. Befitting. I appreciate it. Although I would rather give my opponent an Aegis defense line so that I can knock it over. But other than that, yeah, max firepower seems concept worth. Exactly. Sorry, I just forgot. The siege list from a few weeks ago, yes. Iron Warriors, they're awesome. I just see, whenever I think of Iron Warriors, I think of just insane amounts of firepower. Fatah. Fatah. That's it. Excellent. Those are all the comments. I really hope I answered all the comments this time. I super hope I did. Thank you so much for leaving your comments. Now, here's my question to you guys. Now, and as I said, I'm going to kind of ignore these comments when addressing them next week, but I really want to get your feedback. It's been bugging me. For my battle reports, I tend to put a pre-ad and a post-ad, right? And maybe in the center, but I don't like doing that for most of my videos. Maybe a long video like this one, I'll put a middle one. Now, I want to ask your opinion. Now, do you guys, and women, obviously, do you people find frequent ad use annoying? Because I was having a conversation at Gen Con about most of the amazing battle reports you see these days, like from from Miniature Wargaming, from Miniwargamer.com, and from awesome battle report makers such as Striking Scorpion, have kind of spammed their comments, their ads. You know, every 7 minutes there's an ad. So leave a comment. What do you feel about them? Is it okay? Because I don't really want to do that, but I figure if I put a couple more ads in, it just means more money that I can put towards more battle reports and stuff. But if you guys have a problem with it, I'll honestly stick to maybe one at the end, one at the beginning, and it's okay. But I'm just curious, what are your thoughts on putting ads in every 7 minutes, like a commercial for TV? Is that too much? Is it okay? Since we make the videos, what do you guys think? So thank you so much for all your questions. I really hope I addressed them all. Leave a comment in the comment section down below what you would add to this conversation, and stay tuned because later today, you're probably going to see a review. Maybe they'll be up tomorrow morning because it'll take a while, of the new Grey Knight Codex. I can't wait to read it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to cry, but it's going to be hopefully it's going to be fun. So stay tuned for more videos. Till next time, this is Jay saying, keep queuing, I keep Jaying. Happy